recording? I think we're recording. Okay, Scrafters. It's game one between Scallywag and CrimsonTide. They are literally playing this as I cast. I was thinking of streaming it, but I haven't got OBS set up for it, and I kind of, I don't know, maybe I should have, but I'm not. So let's see what these players are going to get up to. We're on Parasite. It's a pretty big map, not outrageously big, not as big as, say, Lost and Found, but it's not small either. And yeah, a pretty standard map. So Parasite, you've got the level ground expo. You've got a relatively open third if you go this way, but you do have this weird kind of island thing, so you can wall off one side of this, and you've got a reasonable choke then, but it's not that easy. You can knock this down. If you kill this, it tips over and blocks this path, and that does make this actually relatively easy to hold, which seems like a crazy direction to go for your third, because you've got such a narrow choke coming into it and you can knock this over. It's actually not as crazy as it sounds. Now obviously stuff can swing around this side, so if I'm the Zerg, I don't mind this as a third. If I'm the Protoss and I know that Lings could be doing run-bys, I hate this as a third, and I'm definitely down here. But we'll see what happens. This looks pretty standard from CrimsonTide. It's hatch gas pull, so no kind of crazy Ling shenanigans. Double gateway before side for Scallywag, which I don't hate it. I'd rather gateway scout, but I don't hate it. It's, you know, oh, thank you. I've just had a cup of tea brought to me by my son. What an absolute star. Yeah, so, yeah, things looking pretty normal. What is not normal, though, is Scallywag's forgotten to transfer workers into gas. So only now getting around to that now. With the side core kind of 3/4 of the way done, he's not going to have enough gas to start research on warp gate as soon as the side core finishes up. Or is he, actually? Oh, maybe he is. Maybe he's actually timed this to perfection and I don't know what I'm talking about. That's always possible. Okay, like a second, literally, don't listen to me, I know nothing. No expo in sight, and that is a little unusual. You know, the side core is up, and we're building units. You know, this will take him up to 3 zealots. That's 300 minerals. There is enough minerals in the bank for the Nexus. So if we don't see the Nexus coming down literally within about the next sort of 20 seconds, you'd have to start thinking there's something funky about to happen here, and he's going to turn those minerals into sort of 3 gateways. But it looks like he wants to wall off here. Now, I don't know. I think I'd have preferred getting the Nexus building first before throwing these pylons down, although he was actually approaching supply block, but that's largely because of these queues of units. This is a lot of unit to have early when nothing's coming. You know, what is there on the map here? Like nothing? Is it actually nothing? Is that what we're looking at? Whoops, hold on. Yeah, so no, there must be 6 Lings somewhere, are there? Yeah, the Overlord is going to escape, I'm pretty sure, and this one is out of sight, I think. Oh, it isn't actually. So CrimsonTide needs to move that forward a little bit, but it's an easy adjust. Overlord does get away, and CrimsonTide has seen the timing on this. So yeah, oh, but you don't want to run the Overlord. You want to just move it so that it's directly above the center of that, and that would count as high ground. As it is, though, I don't think the Stalker's going to come out and try and catch it. Where are the Lings? There aren't any. That army supply is in fact all in Queens. Yeah, so nothing about to come and sort of surround this Stalker. But Scallywag doesn't know that, and that would be my one serious criticism, is the lack of information. Now, he has scouted a little bit earlier with the worker scout, but you know, look at what he doesn't know. Doesn't know that there's a roach warren, doesn't know that the lair is on the way, doesn't know that it's double gas. The double gas is a big tell. Double gas in the main before the third comes down, and that somebody's going to hold the roach button literally. because what else would you be spending it on? You know, roaches are about the only way that they're going to go. Now, from CrimsonTide's point of view, if this is going to be a big roach push, the thing to look out for is supply. Roaches cost a lot of supply, so you want normally to give yourself a big overhead and just crank out several overlords to free up a lot of supply. You can see that she's at 60-60, well, close enough. So yeah, you very quickly get supply blocked building roaches, and what you end up having to do is kind of crank out sort of with your 5 larvae that come out, it's 4 roaches, 1 overlord, 4 roaches, 1 overlord. So speed upgrade is being researched, but obviously these roaches are going to get across the map long before that happens. And if we look at the army difference right now, it's pretty close. Let's see what Callie's got to be able to deal with that. 2 shield batteries and enough stalkers and force fields. This is an easy hold. If the roaches have speed, maybe not. This shield battery is, actually they're both within range of the Nexus for an overcharge, so shouldn't be any issue. This stalker though doesn't want to be out the front like that. No overcharge coming down just yet. You know, maybe a Guardian shield, and I'd love to see a force field. There's the overcharge. But you know, currently the units are sort of walking out of the range of it. Again, yeah, force fields could make a big difference here. An immortal would be awesome, but I don't see one in production. I can't see these roaches breaking this. There's just too much healing coming out of the shield batteries. Now, interestingly, just last week, a patch for StarCraft nerfed shield batteries slightly and meant that their healing rate when overcharged goes to 150% rather than 200%. So overcharged batteries aren't quite the absolute sort of MVPs they used to be. But they're still good, and you know, 2 of them, obviously that is a lot of healing. So it looks like Scally fancies a counter, and I'm not sure about that. You know, CrimsonTide maybe didn't get the damage she hoped. Look at this production tab, pretty empty. Maybe didn't get quite the damage she hoped for, but she has reset a lot of important tech for Scallywag, killed all the sentries. That's a lot of gas. There were a couple of sentries there at 100 gas each. This queen, why not running? Or maybe this sentry survived. Oh, sorry, my bad. But still, did kill a number of stalkers and did lower the unit count. So actually, this just isn't scary. Scallywag's so far from home with no prism, no forward pylon to drop back up, that it's just not a scary push at all. This is easily going to hold, especially with a queen in the back or whatever, if necessary. So let's take stock, see where we are. There's 4 gateways coming down on Blink. Quite like it. Would like to see the prism, because that's what you're going to need if this push is going to work. You get that prism out, and as these gateways finish up, as Blink finishes up, you can really abuse the Blink, because you can dance about the place here. You can use the prism, you can push stalkers, you know, over to this area, Blink up into the main, get a bit of stuff done. Move the prism over here, drop some stuff out to harass the front door, run with the stalkers when the army, all that sort of good stuff can go on. Another thing that this map actually works pretty well for, that I have never seen in an EMS tournament, and I would love to see, it's such a cool move. You get your prism out, you get a couple of high energy sentries in the prism. I like this, by the way, always like this, always like a bit of scouting. It is always worthwhile. So this hallucinated phoenix is going to fly in for free and get a good old look around. Is it going to see the infestation pit? Yeah, it is. It's going to see it. Yeah, brilliant scout, absolutely superb. But yeah, what I was saying, with a couple of sentries in the prism, you fly the prism into here, you unload the sentries, you drop a force field on the ramp, you warp in a bunch of zealots, and the army is trapped here. And with 2 full energy sentries, that's 4 force fields, so you can just keep this ramp force fielded all day long while the zealots go absolutely ham, and there's very little your opponent can do about it. You know, if there were Ravagers here, you could pop the force fields, but at present there isn't. So it is a tasteful move, one worth bearing in mind. Scallywag appears to have supply blocked himself just at present. Burrow being researched for CrimsonTide, and I wonder if she's going to go for burrowed roaches move. I'd really like to see that. There are a couple of observers here that she probably doesn't know about, but you can definitely still get stuff done with those burrowed roaches. It's just such a sneaky, cunning move. So yeah, would definitely like to see that. Looks like we're going to get a bit of Mutalisk action. Is this double spire a mistake? She forgotten that she's already got one built in? Because, you know, a mega commitment to double spire upgrades, you can't work that off this lower base count. You know what I mean? You just can't. You would need 8 gases mining. You need 4 bases to kind of be able to afford mutas and double upgrades. So I feel like this second spire is maybe just a mistake. Although with the infestation pit, you know, maybe it's the, yeah, here comes the hive. So maybe it's brood lords. But there's no upgrades coming here, so I don't understand this second spire at all. It just seems like a waste of gas. The Nidus worm I absolutely love. So this pylon wall at the back could actually be a little bit obnoxious because it'll get in your own unit's way. So, you know, if Scallywag just drops a Nidus here, it could actually be really awkward to get to. But there are a couple of void rays and they do shut down Nidus play pretty hard. It isn't, I don't think there's any spots here, maybe right at the back here, but I don't think so. I don't think there's anywhere you can sneak the Nidus in that Scally won't have vision of it. Here, perhaps, it would show up in the mini-map, but if you're not looking, not paying attention, you might get away with it. The bigger picture here, though, is CrimsonTide desperately needs a 4th. Why don't we have a 4th? Look, here we are at 11 minutes. The Protoss is on 3 bases. You know, why isn't the Zergon 5? Honestly, at this stage of the game, 5 is where you should be at. It is double upgrades after all, but you know, look at the gas. Like, there's barely enough gas here for 6 Mutalisks. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd prefer the single spire, to be honest. You know, unless you're happily mining off 5, 6 bases and money is no object, then by all means throw down the double spire. Let's see what these mutants can get done. There is actually nothing here to defend against them. Now, whether by good luck or whether whether just some sort of scrafting intuition, Scallywag does drop a couple of cannons. If the mutants linger, these cannons are going to have time to finish up. Hang on, I could have. Did I imagine seeing cannons be built? Maybe I did. Or maybe he cancelled them and repositioned them or something like that. It's going to be a recall, so the mutants are going to have to get out of there. Do not stay and fight that. Yeah, run quite fast. So 5 mutants went in, 5 mutants get out, no harm done. A little bit of harass, a little bit of lost mining time, maybe a couple of worker kills. Yeah, so, you know, by no means a waste of time. Mutants are so mobile. These can just swing around the other side, come in and be annoying over here. They can check this base. They can fly through this path and just, you know, swing in here, be a little bit obnoxious, kill a worker, get out. Mutants are great. They're just free sentry. Yes, please. That is 100 gas just wandering about on its own. That is a one-shot. CrimsonTide, though, not looking and misses the opportunity. Full energy sentry. That is tasty pickings for a hungry pack of mutants. So, mutants flying into the back here. There's too many stalkers to deal with, though. So, what are these spire upgrades for, really? Because 5 mutants, you know, that's not much of a commitment. These are going to spread, I feel, if you leave them hanging there. You might have to fly them somewhere. That's wall, is it? I don't know. Weird map. Anyway, CrimsonTide does have a 4th now. There is an army coming, though, and it is reasonably problematic. Generally, against the Protoss, you do not want to be behind in army supply. Now, with that said, most of that army supply is at home, so these units could potentially be forfeit. They are having to run, and of course the stalkers can turn around and fight, but as soon as they do, the roaches are going to snipe them. Not sure why these workers are in the mix, carrying gas into the bargain. So yeah, a bit of an odd one from Scallywag here, and it looks like this might very well get denied. Quick right click on it should shut that down, and then run quite fast. No, this is not the fight really that you want to be taking, I don't think. No overcharge on these void rays, but I don't think it matters. That's a lot of Protoss The Protoss is just thumping out huge amounts of damage. Now, again, though, I don't absolutely hate it because Crimson has successfully reduced. Oh, actually, not as much as I thought. Oh no, it did. That was part of a new warp in. So, did successfully reduce the Stalker count pretty considerably. But is the Hydra button being held down fast enough? I don't know. There just aren't really enough bases at present. And that is the biggest issue that CrimsonTide's got here. Just not enough bases. So yeah, only 48 workers on the map, and I don't know, plenty of money in the bank, but not enough larvae to actually turn that kind of. Although that said, these larvae aren't even doing anything in neither of these. You guys, you know, here we are in round 3 and I'm seeing idle larvae, 12 idle larvae on this map. You know, the Protoss is knocking at your door. What you definitely need is units, and why don't I see units being built? What is happening here? Where are the units? Why aren't there units being built to come and deal with this? Now, with that said, Hydras trade so well against Void Rays, it's a little bit painful to watch. So the Voids outstaying their welcome, and these are expensive losses. With the speed upgrade for the Hydras, Voids with no speed upgrade will get caught. So I don't know. I don't know about this move out though. I think I would rather see Crimson re-establish a 4th and 5th, because I'm not sure you've got enough to push. Let's take a quick look at the army supply. Yeah, you 100% don't. So yeah, you really, Crimson needs to get established in a way that is going to enable her to spend this vast bank, because at present that just isn't the case. As I said, there just isn't enough larvae, and you know, actually the larvae that there isn't necessarily being well utilized. That felt like just a bit of a waste of Hydra. Now there are swarm hosts coming out, and swarm hosts can be great at busting bases, but I'll tell you what they're not great at, and in fact they're worse than useless. They're not great at fighting Void Rays because they don't shoot up in any way, shape or form. So, you know, the pressing issue here is a lack of Hydra. Crimson needs a big raft of Hydras to get under this, and unfortunately with the Stalkers here, she also needs a bunch of Lings to support those Hydras. And I don't see nearly enough of either of those in production. This production tab needs to say 30 Hydras and 60 Lings. If it says that, we're winning. There is money for that, but there isn't larvae. So I fear this is about to be GG. I don't see a way that Crimson can stop this army, and that isn't even the whole army. Scallywag is amassing carriers at home, so can push in with this and essentially just trade it out. Now there are more Hydras coming, but there's no support for them. The Stalkers are going to chew through them so quickly. So you can see how well the Hydras do against the Void Rays, but they can't deal with the Stalkers. Lings are what's required. So standard combos, you know, Hydra Ling Ben is really quite good. Against a toss that's going heavy Stalker, wouldn't bother with the Bens, but definitely the Lings. But anyway, it is GG, and it's Scallywag that goes one game up.